Hey there, movie lovers! Today I'm bringing you something truly exciting. You're gonna find out about all the most anticipated and thrilling films dropping in 2025. Get comfy, grab some snacks, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Here at Filmix, you'll always know what to watch. Let's dive in! Tron. Ares. The third film in the Tron franchise with the subtitle Ares tells the story of that same cyber universe where virtual people live with real emotions. In the original script version, it was about a massive invasion of computer world inhabitants into reality. But they tweaked the plot a bit. Now the story centers around this incredibly complex program called Ares, who gets sent from the digital world into the real one with a dangerous mission. This becomes humanity's first encounter with beings that have artificial intelligence. F1. Racing drama from Apple starring Brad Pitt in Formula One. According to the plot, veteran driver Sonny Hayes competed in Formula One back in the 90s, but had a serious crash and has been racing in other series since then, particularly endurance racing. But at the urging of an old friend who heads the underdog team Apex, he decides to return to the top tier of motorsport to pull the team up from the bottom and mentor Joshua Pierce, a young British driver with a reputation as a future world champion. Ballerina. A John Wick spin-off that takes place between the third and fourth films, telling the story of an assassin named Eve Makarov. The plot centers on a young woman who becomes a deadly ballerina from the Russian Roma assassin syndicate, where Baba Yaga himself once trained. To avenge her family's murder, Eve enrolls in ballet school under a mysterious headmistress. Over time, becoming an experienced assassin, our main character begins hunting down her family's killers. The Naked Gun. Surprisingly, a remake of The Naked Gun is coming out this year. Liam Neeson will play the lead role instead of the great Leslie Nielsen. He'll play Frank Drebin Jr. Just to remind you, the original film that hit screens in 1988 was about this very incompetent cop named Frank Drebin. He had to single-handedly uncover a major international conspiracy and save Queen Elizabeth II from certain death. Nobody believed he could succeed, but the lieutenant managed to deal with the enemies with ease. 28 years later. The continuation of the cult post-apocalyptic zombie films, 28 days later and 28 weeks later. This time, it's 28 years later. The plot has Britain completely overrun by mutated zombies, with only a few uninfected communities surviving. The story centers on a young guy searching for a doctor for his dying mother. Interestingly, they've also finished principal photography on the sequel to this film. 28 years later, Part 2. The Bone Temple. Overall, it's expected that this film will kick off a new trilogy. Now You See Me, Now You Don't. The beloved Magician Thief franchise returns to the big screen. Since the original Horseman team has scattered, Daniel Atlas assembles a new team of young magicians to pull off another daring heist. And he's doing it for a noble cause, to stop a diamond dealer who's financing illegal arms trafficking. This case ultimately brings together new and old heroes, so they can battle an international criminal network. Zootopia 2. One of the most anticipated animated films of the year. The story centers, as before, on Rabbit Judy and her partner Nick, though their partnership is facing some tension, forcing them to seek help from a therapist. The key character in the new story will be a snake named Gary, who's causing quite a stir since he's the first snake to appear in the city. The film will also feature a beaver named Nibbles, who will add new comedic moments to the story. Frankenstein, a dark fantasy gothic film from director Guillermo del Toro, which has been in development since 2008. The film will be an adaptation of the famous gothic novel Frankenstein, or the modern Prometheus. Its main character is a scientist named Victor Frankenstein, who discovers a way to create living matter from non-living matter, and uses this discovery to create an artificial human, but then abandons him. The nameless monster then begins pursuing its creator. Wake Up Dead Man, a Knives Out mystery. The third part of the famous film franchise. Private Detective Benoit Blanc takes on investigating another murder. Even though plot details for the sequel haven't been revealed yet, in the teaser Netflix released, the detective says this new case will be the most complex, dangerous, and thrilling of his career. Like the other films in this series, the third movie also features a huge cast of famous actors, so we can expect something truly interesting as always. Predator: Badlands. From the creator of the acclaimed Prey, 2 Predator projects are coming out in 2025. The first tells the story of a young predator who, seeking to earn his clan's respect, travels to a death planet populated by extremely dangerous life forms in search of worthy prey. There, the predator teams up with Tia, an android created by the Weyland-Yutani Corporation from the Alien universe. The film explores predator culture and society, shows their home planet, and features a full language developed specifically for the movie. Nobody 2. The sequel to the successful 2021 comedy action film. The movie's events take place 4 years after the first film's finale. The past won't let our hero go. He still owes $30 million and has to keep hunting international criminals. Trying to restore family happiness, Hutch and his loved ones go on vacation, but instead of rest, the heroes end up in a smuggler's den. Drug dealers, corrupt cops, and running it all is a ruthless woman played by Sharon Stone. So, the vacation will have to wait. Superman. The first film in the newly created DC universe under Guardians of the Galaxy director James Gunn will be the new Superman. The film focuses on a young version of Superman as a reporter and his interactions with key characters. According to insiders, the film is more like a comic book series. There's no central plot. Lex Luthor just tries different ways to kill Superman. Kaiju, a black hole in the sky, a clone. He tries everything. Lex also turns public opinion against Superman and gets him arrested. In the Gray. A completely auteur project by Guy Ritchie. He's the screenwriter, director, and one of the producers. Critics compare In the Gray to the cult Expendables, the same frantic pace and brutal fights, but with the director's signature style. And that means bold dialogue, unexpected twists, and charismatic heroes. The story centers on 2 evacuation specialists tasked with ensuring a safe route for negotiator Sophia. Plus, the heroes have an additional mission. They need to return stolen money to a crime boss. Megan 2, the sci-fi horror, also returns to the big screen. 2 years have passed since the bloody massacre staged by the killer doll. Gemma has become a famous author and fights for control over artificial intelligence. Meanwhile, a military corporation using Megan's technology creates a new superweapon called Amelia. She's fast, smart, and doesn't plan to obey human orders. To save the world, Gemma must bring back Megan. Only this time, she needs to be even stronger, even more dangerous, and even more insane. The Bad Guys 2, the sequel to the excellent 2022 animated film. The once feared gang of bad guys used to terrorize the whole city, but 5 years have passed since then. The bad guys, having reformed and become good guys, are trying to earn trust and recognition in society. But it's not easy. Because of their past misdeeds, nobody wants to hire them. Then, suddenly, a squad of female criminals known as the Bad Girls approaches them. They're the ones who convince our heroes to pull off one last job. Avatar 3. Undoubtedly the most anticipated film of 2025 is Avatar 3 with the subtitle Fire and Ash. In the 3rd chapter of the cosmic saga, we'll travel to other planets. The film will also show the Ash Clan, Na'vi who are more aggressive than the Metkayina and Omaticaya. Their people will serve as antagonists. 2 additional sequels, Avatar 4 and 5, will be released in December of 2029 and 31. Cameron has also considered a 6th and 7th Avatar, though the director notes he'll be around 90 years old by then. Obviously, I can't make avatars forever, the director laments. Nevertheless, Cameron might pass the franchise to a successor, and then who knows if exploring Pandora will end with the 5th film. Return to Silent Hill, a film adaptation of the famous horror game from the director of the original film. The story centers on James, a man broken by separation from his beloved. When a mysterious letter calls him back to Silent Hill to search for her, he discovers that the once familiar town has changed under the influence of unknown evil. Descending into darkness, James encounters terrifying figures, both familiar and new, that make him question his own sanity. The Conjuring, Last Rites, the 4th film in the series and 9th in the overall universe. The action takes place in 1986, 5 years after the events of the third part. Ed suffered a heart attack in the previous film. Largely because of this, he and Lorraine decided to retire, though they continue giving lectures and guarding cursed objects. However, the Smurf family asks the demonologists to take up their old work again. They're being haunted by a dangerous demon in the form of an old woman seeking revenge on someone. Elio. Walt Disney and Pixar present a new animated project. The plot centers on 11-year-old Elio, an underdog with a rich imagination who accidentally teleports to the Communiverse, an intergalactic organization uniting representatives from distant galaxies. Mistakenly appointed as Earth's ambassador and completely unprepared for such pressure, the boy must establish new connections with eccentric aliens, pass a series of serious tests, and discover who he's truly meant to be. Jurassic World Rebirth. The new phase of the Jurassic World will open with the film subtitled Rebirth. Our planet's environment turned out to be not quite suitable for dinosaurs. Only a few surviving specimens inhabit remote tropical regions suitable for life. A group of scientists and mercenaries heads to a remote island to extract DNA from 3 of the largest currently living dinosaurs. The samples are needed by a powerful pharmaceutical company to create a breakthrough medicine capable of saving millions of lives. One battle after another. Meet a loose adaptation of the novel Vineland by Thomas Pynchon about heroes whose youth fell during the rebellious 60s, a crime drama with elements of political satire, black comedy, and action. The action revolves around a man named Bob, a former civil rights activist who in his youth was part of a revolutionary group with his wife. 16 years after people break into his house and kidnap his daughter, Bob turns to his former comrades for help to save her. Fans will also be pleased with the second part of the adaptation, Mortal Kombat 2. Unlike the first film, where events unfolded before the tournament, in the sequel viewers will finally see the tournament itself. According to tradition, if the Earthrealm fighters lose, Emperor Shao Kahn will gain the right to invade. The plot has main character Cole Young heading to Hollywood to secure support from legendary fighter Johnny Cage. Also in the spotlight will be Katana, who wants revenge for her father's death, and Jade, who serves the Outworld. The Old Guard 2, the sequel to the 2020 fantasy action film about an unkillable team of centuries-old warriors. Andy and her team of immortal warriors continue their work protecting humanity. The heroes face a new threat in the form of the first immortal, who doesn't share their views and seeks to destroy everything the team has worked on for thousands of years. Moreover, another immortal appears, thirsting for revenge after being freed from an underwater prison, and the situation is made worse by the fact that Andy has lost her immortality. The Fantastic Four First Steps. After the difficult history of previous adaptations, the Fantastic Four finally joins the Marvel Cinematic Universe. The film's action takes place in an alternate reality, visually resembling retro sci-fi. In this world, the Fantastic Four are Earth's first superheroes, and they operate in the 60s. However, how, when, and why they end up in the universe, we know remains a mystery. The film's main villain will be the cosmic giant Galactus, who feeds on planetary energy. Finally, we'll see his canonical appearance, not a shapeless cloud like before. Predator Killer of Killers, the second film in this universe, but now is an animated project about the Predator from the same creator of the acclaimed Prey. The plot centers on 3 of the most dangerous and fierce warriors in human history. A Viking trying to teach his son to kill for revenge, a ninja from feudal Japan who wants to kill his brother over inheritance, and a World War II pilot who takes to the skies to investigate an otherworldly threat. But they're all just prey for the Predator, the ultimate killer of killers. And that was the last anticipated film scheduled for this year. If I missed anything, write about it in the comments. Also hit those likes and don't forget to subscribe to the channel, because here you'll always find something to watch. Let's explore the amazing world of cinema together. All the best!